What is up, guys? We are back. I apologize for the interruption in videos. Obviously, over Thanksgiving, we wanted to spend time with friends and family and do that kind of thing. So we didn't do Thanksgiving, and then, you know, sickness and injury this last weekend kind of prevented me from doing a whole lot. So we are here, and we have a few new parts. So this is a brand new pre-bled slave and master cylinder. And we also have a brand new Willwood swinging clutch pedal. And obviously the pad is still in the parts bin. So a lot of the guys that do these 12 valve swaps and all that stuff, these guys spend you know, $300 and $400 when they're swapping them from automatic over to manual transmission on these hydraulic clutch pedals that came in these trucks. And we just didn't, that's not cost effective for us. When I can add in this Willwood clutch pedal and a brand new pre-bled slave and master cylinder for about 200 bucks overall, and whereas I still would have had to buy, you know, a new slave and master cylinder for this thing anyway. So we're money ahead on that concept, and we're gonna just dive right into getting everything fitted up and ready to go. And also a new change in the shop. We have 4 brand new LEDs overhanging the lift that really shine some light on what we're working on. We're actually planning on taking all these Harbor Freight lights down, and we're going to be putting lights on each post on the side. 1, 2, 3 there. Obviously these 2 already have lights here. We'll be putting lights on the 2 in the middle section back there, and then the same thing right here. We'll do 1 there, 1 on that one that's already got the Harbor Freight lights, and then 1 in the back. And we're really gonna light this place up and make it a really nice, friendly environment to work in, where we can see everything. So without any more rambling on, let's get into it. We're about to try out the lifting up the 82C30 project for the first time. Struggling a little bit. It's also about 30 degrees in here. I just kicked on my heater right when I walked in here to start the video. Let's see. All our lift points look good and sturdy though, so we're gonna go ahead and yank off. Oh, you can't see that. Alright, let's shine some light on the situation. Go ahead and rip off the slave cylinder and get the new one stabbed in, and then we'll start running lines after that. What your slave cylinder looks like. And on this one, they cut our line. Whoever pulled this engine and transmission setup before I bought it, they cut the line to it, so I probably could have made something work and bled it out and all that stuff, but we already needed to buy a master cylinder, and I can buy a slave and master cylinder for 120 bucks. So easier to do that than anything else. So we just went ahead and did that. I'm just gonna go ahead and pop the new one in, and I'll show you what it looks like when we're done. All right, so the new slave cylinder is in, and we're gonna go back up to the top and see where we can mount it and start mounting our clutch pedal. It's gonna be fun. All right, guys, so we're fixing to mount the clutch and the master cylinder stuff, but I've got this mess of wires here. This is all factory down here, coming out of this block, but everything up here, basically, coming out of that hole, is extra wiring this guy has done over the years to try to get that piece of crap 6.2 to run. So we're gonna go ahead and start chomping away at all those wires and get them out of the way, so that way we've got a little better picture of where we need to land our master cylinder. Alrighty guys, I apologize, my camera died the other night. So we're back. I've got the instrument cluster out of it, sitting right there. Nice and pretty, our new pedal. So what we've got going on now is I've knocked this rubber plug out. You can see the light into the cab. And I'm sawzawing off this curled piece here, so we get extra room to install our master cylinder. So we're gonna go ahead and finish sawzawing that out. Don't have a whole lot left. And we're gonna start trying to fit in our master cylinder to see exactly where our clutch pedal is gonna sit, or if we need to make adjustments to a rod to make them offset. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to cut a little backing plate that's going to slide around here. It'll have two holes, one on the top, one down here on the bottom, right there, for the studs on the clutch pedal, wherever I laid it, to slide through. That way we can put nuts on the back of it, tighten it all up as one unit. So I have a piece of 1/4-inch steel over here that I use for my derby cars. We're just going to cut a section out to make our backing plate. Drill some holes in it, and then that'll be all we need to get the clutch and master cylinder all mounted up. Alright, so we've got our holes drilled. Clutch fits in there. Perfect. So now we're going to make a mark on this inside hole for what we need to cut out on this bracket. Alright guys, that's what she looks like. Not the most beautiful bracket in the world, but it will do the job. It slides over just like this. I'll show you how it actually functions. Alright, so this is how it's going to work. Studs will come through the firewall, and then this bracket, the master, will be sitting on the back with this nice little capture plate that will hold it tight. So there she is. Now we just gotta expand the size of that hole and drill a few more holes for these two studs. Alrighty guys, so we actually pulled the studs and drilled out our Wilwood clutch pedal. And I went ahead and I made the adapter rod. It's just a bolt. And the factory adjustment, or not adjustment, the factory pin for the actual cylinder itself. Cut it in half, weld them together. Got the holes drilled. It's very sloppy. I did not get it how I wanted it to turn out whatsoever. So it didn't work very good. I'm not super pleased with it, but we're just trying to get it done at this point. Trying to get on to the next thing. I also have another truck that we're probably going to be skipping to here in a few minutes. We're going to be doing brakes, an oil leak, and a upgraded fuel pin in it. A customer of mine dropped it off, and that's what we're headed to next. Alrighty guys, so this is my buddy's 1992 VE pump 4-wheel drive 12 valve. This thing is pretty clean. Obviously it's almost 30 years old, so it's got a couple things here and there. Custom built front bumper. I've turned the pump advance and the smoke screw up on this thing. Tinted windows, tinted brow. You guys check him and his buddy's business out, TKO Outdoors, for all your hunting and guide needs. But today we're going to install a fuel pin, do brakes, and solve an oil leak that he's been having trouble with. There's Judge. Come here, Judge. There's Scout. Hi, Scout. This thing, wash the engine bay real good, and make sure we have a nice clean engine, so it makes it a little easier to diagnose our oil leak. So we'll get back with you when we get back to the house. I guess we're also going to be putting new windshield wipers on this truck. They're pretty wore out, as you can see. Alrighty guys, so we just got back. Truck is cleaner, not clean. We just had too much money in the meter, so I kind of gave it a little spray down. But we're gonna go ahead and do the brakes first. Since the engine's nice and warm, we're gonna let it cool down for a little bit and see if we can see any oil trails when it's sitting here. So, oh, also I forgot, I did he kept breaking these accelerator sensors, so we went ahead and I put a 3-wire potentiometer in it so we could dial the transmission into shift into overdrive whenever he wanted. If you guys want to know more about that, I might show you guys how to do it if you request it. If not, I'm just gonna leave it like it is. So, all right, we're gonna go ahead and get started on the brakes. All right, so from here on out, I need to adjust my camera angle. All right, so from here on out, it's pretty much pad slap. New pad. This one slides on the inside. Fits right in. And then, I don't know if there's a difference in these two, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm pretty sure it's the same. Yeah, it looks like it. Yep, there. And this one mounts on the caliper itself. So, put the caliper back on, kind of finagle this one in while we're putting the caliper on, and we'll be good to go. But right now, I got a fancy little tool that compresses this cylinder, so you don't have to use a C-clamp or anything else like that. Guess we're gonna do it the old-fashioned way, because I can't find my tool. Alrighty, so new brake pads are in. Much as you can see of that. Go ahead and slide our retainer back in right here with the spring. It actually sits like that, and that's what locks it. Get it started. Just like that. It's locked in. Caliper's not going to go anywhere. Get your locking bolt. Goes right there. And this thing's got a collar. Make sure it's not up against it. Make sure it's actually in this sleeve hole. If you can see that collar. Get your Allen wrench. Make sure it's good and tight. That side's done. Alrighty guys, so part came in, the new fuel pin. We're gonna go ahead and pull the AFC housing, and we're going to show you guys how to install this thing. Okay, and this thing pops right out. There we little tight in there. Okay. This is what your old one looks like. This is what your new one looks like. What you're gonna do is you're gonna pull that little nut that will come out. You'll bolt your new one right into this plate. Okay, so this is what it looks like now. New fuel pin, and you just drop it in facing the front of the pump with that notch. Oh, I almost forgot my little neoprene deal here. Okay. And then you put your AFC housing back on. You have that 100% straight, right? Right there. And if you ever get in here to adjust anything from the factory, they have tamper-proof screws, which is originally what that was. We just cut a groove in it to make it a flathead, and then the rest of these are just normal Allen head bolts. Alright guys, so it runs, it did not run away. We will take it for the test drive after we finish up our rear brakes, which we're about to do. But those fuel pins on these VE pump 12 valves is the quickest way to get probably anywhere from 30 to 40 horsepower out of these trucks. And I've already turned the pump up on this one a little bit. I just, we didn't order the fuel pin at that time, so, and we wanted to make some content for you guys, so we ordered the new fuel pin in to drop it in on camera. So after we get our brakes done, we'll take it for a test drive. All right guys, the 92 is back together. The oil leak is fixed, all the brakes are done all the way around, the fuel pin is in, this thing is ready for a test drive. Let's go. Alrighty guys, thank you for watching this video. We'll kick it off in the next one back on the 82. I appreciate you guys watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and have a good one.